Hey guys, so we're here with a special guest, Sky Striker Ace Roze, who's always really ranked quite high with Sky Strikers and doing it yet again this format. I think right now you're like in the 20s, but I'm sure you'll climb up the ranks again, just like you always do. Would you like to introduce yourself, say something about, maybe how long you've been playing Sky Strikers, for example?
Hi guys, I am Striker Race Roze, and I have been playing this deck since I was like a child. No, it's basically I play this deck since in the good old days we got three raid, three engage, but now we only get one engage.
Right. And before we continue,
So
I know you're part of a team. Would you like to mention that?
yes, I'm part of the Purple Haze team, which is a team of players, international players. So check it out. Purple Haze team.
All right, I'll
Uh,
have all the links down below. So I guess we can just get started with your list. So I'll just go over some of the ratios and you can comment on them. So we have the three Ash Blossom, the Pankratops, the three Veilers, three Rose. Three Ray, two Rose. Anything you'd like to comment regarding the monster ratio?
okay. The the entrops are like entrops. I tend to play Ash Taylor and Permanence because they are the most versatile entrop of all. And actually, I think you they are good in all matchups. It's like for example, if you play like Bell. You are not you're like prepared for some matchup like Elvish match, but you're not good against other matchups like Flanders. While Ash can be triggered versus any of them, and they were also in impermanence also, so they are most flexible one. Still, if and since I don't play the Alti-Fiber combo anymore, it's impossible for the ban list. Baylor is still mandatory at three, in my opinion, because like it's one of the best entraps we got. It's top kit colors, it's top gigantic. It's a really good entrap.
Right, right.
For the Pankratops, he is my little dino, so you gotta be there. Like it's like when you need it to remove that secret village, it will always come down.
Right.
And for the girls, I played three Ray and two Rose. Because the Ray must be a three because it's the best card in the deck, the best card in the Yu-Gi-Oh, and the best card ever printed. And while Rose is uh, is Ray but darker, even if it's right. And for sure, she is more precious, so we only have to play two. No, jokes aside, you have to play two rows uh, because actually you need starters, but you don't want to see much names in your hand, and five is the best number of starters to mathematically speaking. And you can see that I play two Area Zero. I decide I am one of the striker player which decides to play two Area Zero and two rows. And but there are some players which prefer to actually play three rows and cut down Area Zero to one, which is interesting, which is playable, which is fine, totally fine. But I prefer two Area Zero to give consistency to set rotation, which is another powerful card. For the spells, for striker spells, I would play a standard lineup with two Afterburners since I'm going second, and three Widow Anchor, one Shark Cannon, because like one cannon is pretty mandatory because like Tearlaments is around, but it's still a one-off because you don't want to see too many of them. Because like if you go second and you see multiple Shark Cannon, that's not good. Because like you are going to have long card in your hand. Maybe in a Shizu format will be two off, but now it's not. And of course, we got Mystic Mine, the best card in the game. Like, yeah, I mean, Mystic Mine is one of the powerful card in the game. Even if now it's weaker than before, I I genuinely think that is one of necessary evil of the game, which is correct to play in this deck and correct to play in any control deck and in any combo deck and in any deck basically, because like it's
Mhm.
just slow down the pace of the game and makes the games more interactive and not more uninteractive. Because like if the Mystic Mine sits for like 2 or 3 turns, lets you enter in a phase which is the late game, which many combo players don't like, but it's actually a really nice way to play the game, like after turn 2 to 3. And so, since we don't have Maxi, like the OCG, we need something, and this something is Mystic Mine. I only play 2 Mystic Mine because it's not my main strategy, but still I can win with Mystic Mine. And I think 2 is the perfect number because if you go first, you still have the chance of not drawing it, which is not good going first. Since I don't play Droplet or Offering to the Doom, but I think it's a mandatory card to play.
Mhm.
2 are a 0 to give consistency to set rotation and to have the second field spell. I will probably cut Area Zero set rotation and the Roze off for Drilling Cage when it comes out because it gives more starters to the deck, but at the same time it's a really utility card because it can dodge Entrap, make OTK, and transform Nibiru into Kakaris and many other things. A 2 of the burner is nice. A 3 with rank is mandatory. And for the striker spells, which are not obvious, like the three of obvious, are Ego Booster and Arcos Base. I really like Ego Booster because like it gives like um dodging ability to dodge and traps more,
Mm.
and I think that Hercules Base is really good. It's a really good card because like it has many effects which are good, which is having infinite extra deck, and plus you have the ability to draw two, and against Sprite is pretty good because like you poke two bodies and you go bubble trade with the Hercules Base. It's almost always replace himself with another card, which is good. And if you really don't want it in your opening end, you have still Area Zero to get rid of it. So I think it's a nice card to have in the deck. It's a nice tool to have, and but I completely understand the player who doesn't feel confident to run it. If you want to copy this list and you don't feel confident about playing Hercules base, just play another mine and you will be fine regardless.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, and I guess rounding out the really list is just the one metaverse for that Mystic Mine. So I guess maybe if
Yep.
we move on to the extra decks. So we have the Axis Code Talker Stell for the OTK. We have the two Charmers and Dark and Hida, the
Yep.
Ningirsu, and then the rest are just the typical standard striker lineup with the three Hayate, three Kagari, the one Kana, three Shizuku, and the one Zeke. Anything about the extra deck that you want to comment on?
I want to comment on Ningirsu because Ningirsu is pretty much one card that you need in your extra deck, even if many players don't play it. Because like if you don't play Ningirsu, you go under cards that are not targetable, and you cannot remove the anti-spell. Because if you Zeke and then with Zeke set RS0 under anti-spell, you can summon the Kaina, with the ray you summon from deck, and so you can do Ningirsu and remove Anti-Spell if you really need it. And Ita is for the elf, while Charmer is for the link to or slash fusion, which has tier elements. So Dark is for tier elements, and
Mm.
Hita is for the sprite to make access code. I'm still testing this lineup with the extra deck since it's not. Um, it's soon that they ban Alkifibrax for me. Sometimes I want him back, but I know that it's not good to have Alkifibrax in format.
Yeah.
For the Bista, I
Mm-hmm.
am testing it in the side deck, but also I think they are good in the main deck,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure about it because like there are many Flandries players floating around, and you don't really want to play Bested against Flandries. So I think Bested are kind of side deck now. For the Cosmic Cyclone, they are against control decks and floodgate decks, and to try to beat Antispell or any floodgate. Kaijus are for untargetable monster, which is a really good problem of this deck.
Mm.
That will be fixed with the new Sky Striker Kaiju, which replace the two Gamma Shield. And the bells are for protecting yourself from the Bisted and also to stop the the how to say the water enchantress of the temple. So that's the list. I think currently this is currently my best file, I think. But with linkage, I think the, the the list will change, the gameplay of the deck will change, and I don't know if there is like the possibility to still have a control list, or if you want to go with the more combo, more not combo but aggro variant, which is practicable. I think these are the two ways in the deck could evolve,
Mm-hmm.
because like there is the control variant, which is this kind of list, and there will be the aggro variants that will play linkage more with without Mystic Mind probably,
Right. And what are
because
your thoughts on like the Therian package, the King Regulus in Striker? I know some people play, but I think most people have cut that out.
that's a good question. Like with the Shizu, I think it will become popular because like uh many player will mill a lot of your deck, and since they mill a lot of your deck, you will have a machine in your grave,
Mm.
and since you have a machine in your grave, the regulars are always live. Plus, with linkage, you have access to do a play going first, which is really good. Which is like linkage into Kagari, target linkage with Kagari, and then you turn Kagari into Shizuku and then Regulus. So it will be making, and so linkage will be making the Tyrannus available. One major things I didn't say about the deck is the plot of uh, is my deck is leaking pots is not because is not budget reason. It's like we are on Dueling book. I can afford any card in Dueling book, and I have IRL the cards,
Mm-hmm.
the prosperity.
Mm.
But I think they are not good in Striker because like um they banish your Hextech deck while is your main uh, is your main resource. So rather than play Prosperity, I would prefer to play the Mystic Mines, more Mystic Mines with set rotation, and Upstart Goblin, which I found out it's pretty better in my opinion. And that's the reason why I don't play pots.
Mm.
I think the Runic variant, which is the other path you can play the deck, is impracticable because the deck needs striker spell, not runic spells. I see some spellbook variant, but they are for fun, and I don't know which many other variants there are. Like DPA variant, you
Hmm.
could play it, but I personally don't like DPA. But it's actually one of the best variant of the deck, hybrid variants. So if you want to play some hybrid striker, I would suggest you to play either Destiny Fusion or either Dragoon, which is really undervalued,
Hmm.
or to play Therians, which is nice. Don't play Runic. Runic is just not for striker,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this deck profile. I'm sure a lot of people are always interested in your list. Any last
Thank
shout outs that you want to mention before we end the call?
I would shout out also my friends because like they always help me to test. Of course, I will shout out the team, my friends in particular, Giorgio Totonelli and Clipper, which are my test mates basically. With along with the team, which are Francesco Papini and Leonardo Sacchetto and many many others, Boniolo and many others.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's it for and well, take care, everyone.